about the spirit morale that Bears fans are starting to see? You think it's on the up?
I definitely do. And I mean, it started last year with all the stadium renovations that were done, and very significantly the move of the tailgate Bearfest Village across Grand into the area right by the stadium. It was one of those deals where if you don't stick your neck out, sometimes things don't go forward, and it could have gone very badly, but people accepted it and it became a big hit. They love the atmosphere of Bearfest Village. Now hopefully we can get the results on the field to go with that, but I think that alone has really spurred the morale, and then the hiring of Steck as the coach has been the second part.
Steck's been a big deal, Jim. What do you think about him?
Oh yeah, it's instilled a lot of enthusiasm, a lot of pride in the program. He's got the community talking about Missouri State football, which hasn't been the case in a lot of recent years. But he's got everybody excited about the future, and sure there are going to be some growing pains, but I think everybody's on board and is heading in the right direction.
And as long as there is patience, Jim, with the growing pains, it is incremental in how you have these improvements. You see the Bears incrementally getting better and better and better, but it doesn't happen overnight. Patience is the key. If the fan base, coaches, players, and the media is patient, then I think everything will turn out successfully.
Yeah, it's a process, and it's not a quick process like you can get in basketball and some other sports, but it's going to take a couple of years to get everybody comfortable with Steckel and the staff, and get his players in here, and kind of get things rolling.
You just hit it there with a couple of years, because I think the public tends to forget. Arguably, this is the best FCS conference in the country. 4-time national champs, runner-up to national champs.
Yep.
That, I think, probably says it all.
Oh, definitely.
People talk a lot about changing the culture, and, we've had a culture of being competitive, close, but can't quite get over the hump. It's not been a terrible program, but not a championship-level program. And so just little things that you do 365 days a year add up, hopefully, to that difference in your favor on Saturday afternoons, but it does take time.
Yeah, and I like the way Coach Steckel is tackling this. If you talk about the culture here, he will shut down that talk right away. He doesn't want to hear how bad it's been in the past. He wants to talk about how good it's going to be in the future.
And therein presents another factor, and that is a change in the philosophical approach to the game. The changes in football do not happen overnight. It does take time to implement that thought process, and I think we are seeing that taking place.
Fred, you're our first guest on the show today, and you are a Missouri State alumni. You played with the football program. What kind of expectations do you have for him?
Well, I think it's going to take some time, but the tools to achieve their goals is there, and I think it's just a matter of time that our program keeps coming along. And all the senior lettermen are excited about the new look and the new program.
Ms. Wilson, I'll pose a question to Mr. Harley, since he was a product of a program that did have success and then didn't have success later on. And Fred, you can probably articulate a bit on the mindset of players when the situation is not particularly a victorious one.
Well, it's tough. I mean, when you set through a season like we had to go through, I played for Jim Menace all 4 years. Fantastic guy. But that was back in the Vietnam era, and we lost quite a few of our teammates, and so it was a hard thing to set through. But on the positive side, we got to go to a bowl game one year. It was undefeated in the conference. That was very exciting. So it's kind of a mix there that winning heals a lot of things.
Absolutely.
I'd point out, too, that Jess Branch was our coach, very successful, the last one that really had a winning record, and he's in town this weekend. Took him till the 4th year to win the conference and go to the playoffs, and then did again the next year. And at that time, I was in charge of the marketing for the sports programs, and I remember we did a commercial before his 3rd year promoting the team, and we had Jess saying, well, the first year we hoped we'd win, and the second year we thought we would win, and this year we're going to win. Well, we didn't win. It was the next year after that.
Well, guys, what kind of impact do you think that new stadium is going to have on the team?
Well, I think the stadium paid dividends from the start, and I'm not sure that they get a Coach Steckel if they don't have the stadium.
We moved everything closer to where the track was removed, the field was moved closer to the main west side, the new east side in turn. So it's a little bit more of an arena, closed-in atmosphere and not so spread out. So when it's full, it can get pretty loud in there and really good atmosphere.
And the president of the university, Mr. Cliff Smart. Cliff, what are your thoughts on the program?
You know, I'm a football fan, and that's the limit of my football knowledge. You know, so my job is to, with our athletics administration team, to make sure that we have the resources to compete. And I think to a large extent, that's what we've worked on the last couple of years. A part of that, obviously, the facilities are now in our league as good as anybody has. And we were able to, for the first time, rearrange, redo some money so that we could fund summer school for all our football players. And that meant they stayed on campus and worked out together. I think Steck would tell you that's the most important thing that we've done to help. We have a brand new Mary Jo Wynn Academic Center that's second to none. And you know, when you look around our league, I think we're the best university in the best city of the teams in our league. And now we have a coaching staff that, at least by pedigree, is second to none. And so I think we've put them in a position to go recruit athletes and be competitive. And as these guys who know a lot more football than I do have said, it's just going to take some time.
The question that I have for you, Mr. President, concerns the money aspect. Coach Steckel comes in from a Division 1A program in which the financial resources are a whole lot more superior to what we have at 1AA. Are the parameters there in which he can work and make the program effective, in your opinion?
I think so. I think the last piece was really the summer school piece. And we worked to get that money. Now, we do not have the ability to fund cost of attendance for all of our athletes. And right now, in the Missouri Valley Football League, no one is doing that. If that changes, and if all of a sudden 5 or 6 teams in our league were doing cost of attendance, that would be a challenge for us because, you know, essentially you can't just decide you're going to do it for 65 football players. You have to do it equally across the board. And so, you know, based on the number of students and women athletes we have, we'd have to do it for probably 80 female athletes. That's $500,000. And but we're not at that point right now. Right now, we are financially competitive and have, I think, everything we need to be so.
Cliff, you're well connected at the NCAA level. I know serving and chairing on some committees. So how important do you think that is for you as president here to be that in touch with the national trends?
You know, I think it's good for the conference and I think it's good for the university. I've just been named with the president of North Carolina State, co-chair of a committee that over the next 18 months is going to evaluate the whole multi-sport concept. And I think that's critical because, you know, is there some way that we could make the rules of how many sports in each level that you have more flexible so that schools could decide where they wanted to put their resources? You know, in our league in baseball, Dallas Baptist plays 1A baseball and Division 2 or 3 everything else. Why can't schools decide they want to do that? I'm not saying we wouldn't. We're good where we are. But I think in an age where there's additional costs year after year after year after year, you know, the Big Five conferences have got a dozen autonomy proposals that all cost money, that are all going to be on the table, then they're all going to be approved at the January meeting in San Antonio. And for most of the schools, we just can't continue to say every year we're going to put X $100,000 more into athletics because our athletics is not self-sufficient. And so I think some evaluation of what the rules are in terms of what level you can play and how many sports you can play are going to be critical.
And to that end, Mr. President, I do know, and it is a vast minority, but I do know that you get some thought process from certain folks get rid of the program altogether? I already know what your answer is, but you might re-establish that.
Yeah, you know, when we had 20,000 people on campus for the opening football game last week. We have no other event that draws that many people to campus. And so in terms of the profile of the university that we want to have, football and competitive basketball programs, a baseball program, our volleyball program is outstanding. Sports is a huge part of the profile of the kind of university we are and aspire to be. Football is a big piece of that. Nothing draws the media attention, the interest of our alums, the connection to the university better than game day. We'll have a great crowd today. I presume we'll be in the 10 to 12,000 range today, and so there's no other event, convocation, a concert, graduation, a basketball game that will have half that many people on campus. It would be ridiculous to say let's eliminate football.
You're on campus every single day. I want to ask you this. What kind of morale do you see from your students?
There is an enormous difference in the morale that I see on our students today than I did 5 years ago. I mean, people wear the colors, people are interested in the university, people are on campus for all sorts of events, they're proud of the university, they want it branded, they talk about it, it's really a huge piece of why we continue to grow so quickly is the students are engaged, they love the university, they're proud of the university, and it's a great place to be right now.
And Julie, we might reiterate here, while I think it goes, we know, and everybody around here knows, but there are many who don't realize how large the university is. Your enrollment this year is?
A couple hundred less than 25,000. So second biggest university in the state, and we've grown 3,000 students in the last 5 years, and continue to project expansion, and our programs are growing, our facilities are improving, the quality of the students coming here continues to grow, and athletics are a big piece of that.
Patrick Blenner, you were a 2013 offensive lineman.
Yeah, and I played in 2014 as well.
And 2014 as well. What do you see for this program, and how far has it come since you were a member of the team?
Like President Smart said, the morale of students, is definitely there. You see a lot more excitement for game day. You get people out.
Let's pose this question to you, since you did play last year and in 2013 as well for a different coach. All right, new coach comes in. You still have some of your buddies on the team. How have they articulated their thoughts as to what Coach Steckel, as opposed to another coach, not necessarily comparing the strategies and so forth, but the total game plan and thought process?
Well, playing for Coach Allen, I'm a huge Coach Allen fan. Mm-hmm. I really enjoyed playing for him, and talking with the players that are still there. I'm good friends with a lot of them, and they say it's just a little different. I mean, the coaching staff's a lot younger, and they can relate with some of their coaches on a more personal level. And with Coach Steckel, they enjoy the change. I mean, and like I said, they have a big family atmosphere, and that's what he's striving to do. They want everyone to bear up.
You're not saying that you can't relate to old people, are you?
Oh, no, I definitely can. This is my good buddy right here.
You'd be a lonely man, Ned, if that was the case.
Guys, do we have final thoughts as we wrap up?
My thoughts are, Julie, that this team, well, the 2015 season may be, and I'm not being a preacher of doom, but it may be a long one.
Healing time.
Yeah, and I think what Pat brought out is the fact that there is a brotherhood involved, and anybody who's ever been involved in athletics, either gender, knows fully well that fraternity or sorority is very important in how teams react. And this is being built. I really feel confident that it's being built here at Missouri State. And in time, hopefully as soon as 2016 or maybe even sooner, things will be a winning circumstance in which you can wave that flag with pride.
Patience. It's not going to be a quick fix. It's like we said, it's a process, and fans have to be patient and put their faith in the coach. It's ambitious to make things happen.
I think Cliff and the Board of Governors just have the whole university going in the right direction, and that momentum should carry over across the board. We saw it with our baseball team in the spring, what a terrific season that they had. And surely, like he said, they've got all the pieces in place. Now it's just a matter of the athletic teams going out and having success. It is a process, but I think it'll happen.
I think the only place to go is up. And with all of the facilities being, as nice as they are, I mean, when I got here, they weren't the same. And with the coaches being the coaches they are and how much they care about their players, the players are going to sell it more than anyone else. The university, when they come on their visits, it's a great place. I'm from Arizona. I came out here. I had no idea what to expect on my visit, and I fell in love with the place. I fell in love with my coaches. And with all the facilities, it's going to be hard to turn down this place, especially with it being one of the nicest venues in the Missouri Valley.
Well, I won't disagree with you. We're out of time here. Thanks for joining us, though, on It's All Downtown Game Day. See you soon.